Hey there, it's me, Kathy. I have an unexpected day off. It's election day, and I don't have to go. Oh, you guys don't even know that I work in a cafeteria in a school part-time. But anyway, I thought the opportunity, I had a pork roast that I wanted to use, and I decided to make something that was very popular in the past in the markets that I worked in, and it's called pork Normande, and it is pork sauteed with apples and onions and a nice sauce. And the sauce is made with broth and with apple cider to make it appley, and it's very delicious, and I hope you enjoy it. I put the recipe on the website and the video is here, and we're gonna start this video right now. Okay, hey, we're gonna get going. We have our skillet, and it's preheating to medium-high heat, and I'm gonna take that fat that I have saved from cooking the pork belly, and we're gonna put that in the pan. That is the equivalent of about 2 tablespoons of butter. Or you can use oil if you want, but this is gonna give it a nice flavor. And my burner is permanently bent. So everything slides to one side of the pan. And I'm gonna get this going. And when that is hot, we are going to use this pork. This is a pork roast that I cut up, and it's going to be really good. Waiting for us to get sizzly, because we're going to brown this meat, and that's going to give it a nice crust and seal in all the juices. Okay, we're ready to go. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Just a piece. We're going to season our meat with some salt. And some pepper. Okay, cooking up nicely. It's time to turn our pieces over. Not as brown as I'd like them to be, but hopefully they'll brown up on the other side. Oh, now there you. Okay, oh, nicely split. Okay, when there's no signs of any kink, we're going to remove these pieces of pork to a plate. Reduce our heat to medium. Okay, we're ready to go. Loosen them up. And we're going to take them and put them on a plate. And when the vegetables are done and the sauce is made, the pork is going to go back into this pot can. I haven't made this dish in years. So good. Alright, I think we'll get rid of you and go back to you and get these last remaining pieces out of here. Alright, I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to scrape up the brown bits in the pan here. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of fat because we are making our sauce in that, and sauces require a bit of fat. And now it's time for our onions. Our apples. I have put the apples in lemon juice because I cut them a little while ago. You don't want them to turn brown. So we're going to lift those out of there. And add them to our onions. I've used Granny Smith apples. I prefer to cook with Granny Smith apples because they have a nice texture for cooking. And they're not mushy, and they're a little tart, and I like that tartness. Let's throw those in. Looking nice. Now we're going to season them. With a little bit of salt. Don't need too much, just a few twists, because the broth that we're using is the beef broth. It's actually the same broth that I used that I saved from the pork belly. And just for a little bit of something, a little fall flavor, we're going to add a pinch of nutmeg. Saute these until they're soft. Oh, it smells so good. We're going to let these go until they're nice and soft, stirring occasionally. But before they get too softened, we're going to add a pinch of fresh herbs. This is sage, thyme, and rosemary. Some nice fall herbs. Sprinkle those on. Add some nice flavor. Stir those in. Oh, that really smells good. All right. We can continue to saute these. And we're moving along nicely. At this point, we're going to add in a little chopped fresh garlic. Oh, let's put it all in. And then blend that garlic into our apple, onion, and herb mixture. We are just about ready to make our sauce. We are ready. These are nicely softened. And now what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle them with some flour. A couple tablespoons. Stir. We want these apples and onions to be well coated with this flour, but you don't want to see any of the flour because if you do, you're going to get lumps in your sauce. Okay. Now we're going to add some of our cooking juice. I cooked the pork belly in beef broth. So this is beef stock, flavored with some meat juices. I'm going to pour some of that in. And stir that around a bit. It looks so nice. And then we have, I saw the cutest little jug of, I've never seen a small tiny little jug of apple cider like this, but I found this in the farmer's market. And I don't know if it's local. Nope, Pennsylvania. So we're going to add some of that. And give it a stir. And we're going to stir this very frequently while the sauce thickens. As you can see, it's getting thicker. And we know when our sauce is completely at its done stage when it comes to a boil. And when it comes to a boil, if the sauce is too thick, add some more juice, some more stock, or some more cider, or a little bit of both. And if the sauce is too thin, you take a little bit of cold water and some cornstarch and shake it up together and make what we call a slurry. And that will thicken that up again. You pour that in there when it's boiling. And that'll thicken it back up again. But this sauce looks like a good consistency so far. We're going to keep stirring till it comes to a boil. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but it's starting to bubble. And the sauce is very thick, so we're going to thin it out just a little bit. Because we have to add in our meat, so that's going to be incorporated. Sorry I bumped you. That's perfect. All right, so now we're going to add our meat back in and any juices that have accumulated on the plate. And this pork is still a little underdone, so we're going to cook this for a little while. All together now. All together now. All right, we're going to bring this to a simmer. Let it go for just a little bit. And there it is, bubbly and fabulous. And Kelly is right behind me, waiting for her piece. And it's still a little hot, so she's gonna have to wait a little longer, but she'll be able to lick this pan when I'm all done with it. So what we're gonna do now is serve it. A pretty plate. Oh, someone must be walking by. And to go with this, there it is, beautiful. To go with this, I made some herb roasted potatoes and some herb roasted carrots. I had these left over from when we made the shepherd's pie, so I utilized them for this dish. And there it is, pork Normande. Why am I holding a paper towel in this video? Because I just used my hands. And Kelly's getting anxious about something. But anyway, savor it, stop drooling, and that's pork Normande. I want to thank you for joining me. And let's have one more look at this lovely pork Normande. I'll put a little dish under it so it's not drippy, but it's beautiful and saucy and porky and appley. And that is going to make a nice dinner. Oh, by the way, I'll be freezing most of this because I made a lot and I can't eat it all. So I think it'll freeze well. And enjoy, and thank you for joining me.